open relating night last night, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was a bit of a giggle, and we talked about like the fluidity between all relationships. So like Danny and I are at a stage now. We've been doing this for 3 years, and we've had some relationships come and go. So there's been like, you know, breakups within our tribe, within the relationships that we have, and yeah, it's been really interesting navigating it all, and yeah, we've learned a lot from it. Oh yeah, I should probably tag you. It's a bit rude. And what we spoke about last night was like, actually, it doesn't need to be awkward or uncomfortable when people like break up or stop having sexual relationships with people in the group that we all hang out with, because it's going to happen. And you know, the purpose of what we're trying to create with Open Relating is that you come together to learn something and to grow, and once these lessons have learned, or once things have unfolded how they need to unfold, then I'm losing my voice, then basically this sexual relationship may come to an end. So what we spoke to last night was like, how can we create fluidity in those situations and create comfort? And it got us to talking about like, we ended up having these conversations, and what we got to the basis of was that there's a lot of fear of rejection. So we talked about how what happens in a relationship from when Danny's driving harder on the brakes. So we talked about what it's like for us when we are going from friendship to lover, and how we can have a fluid transition in that. And actually what we came to is that a lot of people thought they had a fear of rejection, and actually well, I pinpointed for myself that I don't actually have fear of rejection, I have fear of pity. So when people are thinking about, well, not actually claiming their desires and asking for what they desire, what their fear is actually of being pitied by that person. And that pity is so much worse than actually the rejection itself. Like, actually, I don't mind being rejected. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think that, you know, it's not always what's on the space. It's not always what's needed. It's not always possible because of people's relationship statuses and, you know, situations, and inside situations, there's not always going to be, you know, getting exactly what you desire in life. And so what came through for me was like, what if and pity is actually what I have fear around. It's like, I don't want anyone to pity me, and nobody wants to be pitied. And also people actually had a lot of fear around having to reject people, especially women.
Give examples of that.
So we were talking about when we were in school. So if we talk about when women were in school, right, and we came into puberty, and guys were coming into puberty like a little bit more intensely, their hormones were coming in a little bit more intensely. And I think a lot of women felt like they needed to protect themselves, you know, especially if, yeah, when we were coming into puberty and we were feeling like we had all these friends that were of the opposite sex, and all of a sudden that romantic energy was kicking in, that sexual energy was kicking in for guys. They were all of a sudden seeing their friends as like sexual objects. I
was like staring at all these beautiful women's boobs all of a sudden, and they'd gone from friend to potential lover in my mind. I'm like, oh my god, like what is happening in my body? Why has this changed? And I was speaking with a woman who is a beautiful woman, and she had the opposite to me, and started feeling that energy from her male friends, and had to put the walls up and kind of really preempt the rejection, and say things like, oh, you're like a brother to me, you're like a brother to me. And it's like, I got that, I've received that before, and that's the kind of pity energy that Vic's speaking about. Like, if Vic and I didn't know each other, and she was to message me and say like, I'm really interested in you, it's fine if I'm completely not interested and I'm not available. Thanks for that, I appreciate that, I appreciate your energy, cheers, but no, completely fine. Whereas I'm like, no,
I'm really sorry, or like,
sorry,
like apologetic. It's like there's a difference between just like an authentic, like, thank you so much, I'm so honored by for you sharing, and how courageous that is,
When there's, I've just got the transmission that when there's sorry energy in it, right? If I'm giving sorry energy when I'm rejecting someone, it's because I'm perceiving it through a lens that the other person is desperate for attention or love. And that's not the case. Like when we approach people, we're not coming from a place of desperation. We don't need more lovers. It's nice, it's fun, but like we're not coming from a place of, like if any woman was to reject me and be like, sorry, I'm really sorry, I'd be like, you're missing the point of my energy and our energy.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And it's like, and so what we were talking about last night is like, I actually set a challenge for all the people in the open relating group to actually ask for what they desire. And even if that desire is not there anymore, it's like speaking to the people in the group that you've had desire for in the past and saying, over this time when I saw you in this moment, I actually felt desire for you and I didn't name it. And I just want to label that now and put it in the space so that I can have a more authentic relationship. Because what we said was that if you are pretending to be a friend to somebody when you actually feel romantic or sexual energy towards them, then that is actually inauthentic.
It's not showing up in truth.
Yeah. And we don't want inauthentic relationships in our life. Nobody does.
So that's showing up in my relationship with anyone in a mask. If I'm showing up as a friend when I actually view them as a lover or want them as a lover, then that's me putting on a mask and hiding my true feelings and not speaking my truth.
Yeah. So, and so what I noticed is actually when like some messages that I've received that said like, oh, I really want to, you know, have more of a physical sexual relationship with you, and it's been a no from my body and from my heart, I have been so grateful that these people have said this to me, because actually I can have a much clearer and more authentic relationship with them, and I can create some sort of, I don't know, like physical touch with just like, you know, being in contact with them more, knowing that that's their experience of what they desire. So even though I might not desire to have sex with this person or have a sexual relationship, I can have a physical relationship. And that can be just healing in itself, and it can be just as satisfying. And what I noticed for a lot of men that I spoke to in the space last night on one-on-one was that they're actually not clear exactly what they want from these women. And it's so decided by society that if they were to say, I'd like a physical relationship with you, that woman would assume penetrative sex, when maybe all they really want is to like have a cuddle in bed, or to, you know, be held, or whatever, like something like a lot less than penetrative sex. That they don't know how to word that, and even if they were to ask for that, that woman would still assume that they wanted penetrative sex. So it's just like, what would be great if we could actually create a world where people were speaking their actual desires, actually asking for, you know, and actually being heard and being believed by what they desire. Because what we recognized was, you know, you were speaking to, back in the day, you would actually tell a woman what they want to hear rather than what was actually true for you, because you'd already made a decision about what all women wanted.
Yeah, and it'd be involving like the relationship escalator. Whereas if my truth was, I just want sex, like what, and someone asked me a question along the lines of, what does this mean to you? What does this connection between us mean to you? You'd be like, oh, it means so much to me. I wanna love you. I want to be in a relationship with you. Because I assume that that's what that woman wants to hear. But that's my shit. That's my perception. It's like, that might not be what she wants. This woman in front of me might just want a sexual connection for the night as well. And I've made this assumption that she needs to be promised that, you know,
you're gonna take care of her.
Promised betrothal and like